Hi, my name is Ella. In this video, I will be talking about circular packaging. I'll be going over what it is, why do we need it, what steps must we take to achieve circular packaging, and lastly, what we can do to encourage circular packaging in our own lives. Before diving into what circular packaging is, first we must address what a circular economy is. According to the U.S. Environment Protection Agency, a circular economy reduces material use, redesigns materials, products, and services to be less resource intensive, and recaptures waste as a resource to manufacture new materials and products. Now, knowing this definition, we can define circular packaging as a step towards a circular economy, focusing on using recyclable or reusable packaging materials, or eliminating packaging altogether when possible. Now, why is circular packaging so important? Plastics take up so much space in our waste systems, and the plastics industry is only continuing to grow every year, with now 40% of all plastics produced going towards the packaging industry. To put this into perspective, according to the EPA, the U.S. produced 35.7 million tons of plastic in 2018. In an NPR article titled "Recycling Plastic is Practically Impossible," Laura Sullivan claims that less than 5% of plastics are actually being reused to create new products, the rest either going to landfills or, worse, litter that ends up in our environment. Keeping this in mind, according to Pennsylvania's Department of Environmental Protection, in Pennsylvania, packaging takes up 32% of the municipal waste system. Shown here is a graph of plastics waste management from the EPA, clearly showing that plastics are not being effectively recycled. Moving on to how circular packaging is going to be achieved. There are lots of methods of achieving circular packaging. To go over a few, the first is setting targets and goals. This is mainly for governments or companies or organizations to set a goal or a target as for how they want to address problems surrounding packaging. An example of this is that the EU plans to achieve 60% of municipal waste to be reused and recycled by 2030. The next example is material design. Plastic packaging can be designed to be easily reusable, refillable, or even compostable. And certain plastic materials are easier to be recycled because they're easier to be melted down and reshaped. This also applies to using less hazardous materials that could potentially harm human health and the environment. The last example is government restrictions. Government restrictions would be putting limits on what plastics can be used for certain applications. Or another example is how the city of Pittsburgh recently banned the use of plastic bags. Lastly, I'd like to talk about how you can incorporate circular packaging into your own life. The first example is buying in bulk and then transferring the food or the product to smaller reusable containers. Another example is buying durable goods and products, so instead of having to replace them if they break, for example, you could repair them. The picture shows refrigerators, but this idea can be applied to any product, no matter the size or the material. The last example is getting creative in your own home with reusing packaging materials. This picture shows old candle jars reused as plants for succulents. In conclusion, circular packaging is an important goal to work towards for the environment and for human health and well-being. There are many ways to support circular packaging through supporting government and industry initiatives, as well as looking for ways to adapt circular packaging into your own life. Thank you.